2021 has been a crazy year, but it's been a great year for electronic music. So I went ahead and remade all my favorite synth sounds from this year and put them into a pack for you. See if you can recognize this sound. Or this one. Or this one. And I made all these sounds in Vital, which is great because anybody can download the synth for free, unlike Serum, which is like $190. But once you have these sounds at your disposal, you can use them in more creative ways in your own style of music. Like here's a track that I made using sounds from the pack. I'll show you how I made it afterwards. So I started the idea for this track with these chords. I really like how clean and dry they are, but I can build up the energy with these macros over here. Then I always like to have an arpeggio sound to add an extra layer of atmosphere behind the chords. And that rhythm fits with the rhythm of those chords, so they go together well. And in this breakdown slash build-up, I'm also introducing the lead melody with this sound right here. I wanted a softer sound to be playing that melody during the build-up, so that when the drop hits, it comes in harder with this sound right here. So instead of having that drop lead sound also in the build-up, it helps having a softer sound in the build-up to add more contrast between the build-up and the drop. I'm adding a ton of automation during this build-up to raise up the energy level before the drop hits. So I can expand the automation clips for each of these sounds so you can see all the automation I have going on. At the end of the build-up, I wanted everything to sound really washed out and reverby and then go back to being completely dry before the drop hits. And that might look complicated, but all I'm really doing is automating the macro controls that I've set up for each one of these sounds in Vital. Watch the movement of the macro controls on this sound before the drop. The macro controls make it so you don't need to know how to use Vital to use these sounds. You can still mess around with the sounds just using these 4 knobs. And then being able to automate those just gives you complete control of how you want the energy to flow throughout your track. So now the drop hits. And I'm using this lead sound that was inspired from Pressure by Martin Garrix. I just love how short and staccato that sound is, and it has a cool effect from the bit crusher. Kind of gives it like a cool lo-fi effect. Then to add some emphasis to the beginning of each bar, I have this stab sound. This is really one of my favorite sounds. I just love the harmonics of it for some reason. If you play one note, it kind of sounds like a chord. And that's because this one oscillator is playing like a 7th note interval above the root note. Then we add the root note back in. and it sounds really full and warm. Then of course we have to talk about the bass sounds. So I have this warm bass sound that's covering the lowest frequencies. And then to add more character and attack to that, I have this other bass layer on top of it. And I'm just cutting everything off below like 200 hertz on that bass to make room for the main bass below it. So in the second half of the drop, I'm bringing back the chords and the arpeggio sound to add some more energy. And I'm also adding this new lead layer, which is an octave above the original one, just to add a new dimension to it. Let me know down below if you think I should get some vocals on this track and finish it up and release it. I think it'd be cool to actually have some vocal chops in the drop instead of that lead sound if I get the right vocals on there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in the pack, you can check it out below. But I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.